Hey, Brennan here. Welcome to the channel, and thanks for tuning in. Continuing our 2025 scouting report card shows here as we march to the NFL draft. We're about 30 days out. My podcast co-host and I, we're going to break down Devin Neal for you guys. We're going to go over his 2024 production, his PFF stats. We're going to talk about his scouting film, right? What did we see when we watched the All-22 film? We're going to give you some scouting report card grades, give you a comp, tell you where we think he's going to get drafted in the NFL draft, and is he going to be a viable fantasy option for us in year one as a rookie in the NFL? We're going to break all down for you. So hit that subscribe button. Help me get to 17,000 subscribers by the NFL draft. I got about 500 subscribers to go. Help me get there. All right, let's not waste any more time. Enjoy the show. All right, Jason, let's get to our second rookie scouting report tonight, and it is Mr. Devin Neal. We spoke about him a little briefly earlier in the show. 5'11", 215-pound senior, another guy who was really productive at Kansas last year. All right, we're going to go through his stats and his production, his strengths and weaknesses, his scouting report card grades, which we'd love to do, and then the all-important comps, see where he's going to be drafted. But let's go over his 2024 production. 1,262 yards on the season, 5.8 average 16 touchdowns last year. All right. He had 266 yards in the air with 1 touchdown as well. I think this guy is a really, really good pass catcher out of the backfield. We're going to talk about that when we get his scouting report. All right. So the PFF grades, guys, the ranks that you see if you're watching again on YouTube, these are the ranks out of the top 25 backs entering the 2025 draft. PFF rushing grade, he had the 6th best rushing grade at it was 89.9 yards after contact, 3.73, ranked 11th in the class. Missed tackles forced, he had a 21% chance of making a guy miss, ranked 17th. Explosive plays, 10 plus yards. He had a 16% chance of every time he touched the ball, taking it for a 10-yard plus gain, ranked 10th in the class. An elusive rating, 84.2, ranked 17th out of the top 25 backs. Really like the stats that we've done on these scouting report cards this year.
Yeah.
Comparing them to the backs that are going to the NFL draft, not just the percentile of overall college. I think it's really kind of puts it a little bit more into perspective when you compare it to just the guys that have a shot of making it to our dynasty rosters. But you and I watched the film. All right. We've been loving the all-22 film breakdowns. We watched his TCU game, his Kansas State game, his Colorado game. Tell the good people, Jason, out there, what was your overall thoughts on his scouting report?
And you could definitely tell this is a guy who has played a lot of football. He just seems like that solid running back that does everything right, but doesn't really do anything spectacular. So, like right off the snap, like I like the burst and acceleration, but I don't think it's anything special. But it's very strategic. He allows things to develop. He's patient behind the line. He'll accelerate as he needs to, as gaps are developing, and then he will tempo back down to elude and evade into the second level against linebackers and safeties. And then as soon as he evades, he'll pick that speed right back up again. So there's some intelligence within his tempo of running. There's intelligence within the mental processing. It seems like everything kind of slows down for him, and he sees the field very well. He understands pursuit angles. He loves to elude and evade and just make defenders look silly with some of the moves that he can make. I think he's even pretty manipulative within just how he his body gestures, almost like a wide receiver. Like he'll use his shoulders and his hips to kind of throw off and evade from those second level defenders. But he can go up the middle. He's got the strength to do it. He's got good contact balance. He can go to the outside, even though I think that burst is a little limited to get to the perimeter. And we saw him break off some big runs, but he does get chased down. So the long speed is a bit capped, as we saw in the combine, which kind of was an easy check mark at that 4.58 that he had. But, with Devin Neal, I think it's going to come down to him just being very reliable. I think coaching staffs are going to love that they can have a guy that they can trust. I'm not sure how he is in pass protection. I couldn't get a good read on that, but as a pass catcher, this is a kid who is going to be dynamic in that area. And I know you talked about that when you were going over the card on him and all the stats. I just think that this is one of those kids that's going to be around for 10 years as a backup, getting opportunity, he'll perform on a weekly basis if he does have the opportunity, but I don't think this is going to be a guy who's going to carry a backfield. He'll be a nice role player. And then as soon as the starter comes back in, he'll get stashed, kind of like we talk about with DJ Giddens. So he's going to be around for a very long time, and you're going to want him on your dynasty roster, because if you hear that the starter's out and Devin Neal is going to have the opportunity to be in the lineup and be potential starter, you're going to be happy you have him. And I think that's the kind of player that he is.
Yeah, I think you described it pretty well there. When I watched his film, right, I think he's a good navigator, right? That the vision and patience was pretty solid. He's just a smooth
Mhm.
runner. Like there's something
Yeah.
about the way he runs. He like glides. I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's hard to explain, but more quicker, I think, than fast.
Yeah, he's a short strider. Like, he doesn't have long strides when he's running. You can kinda
Yeah,
looks like a little ant almost
yeah, so there's
with
this,
those little short strides.
but he's smooth and he's got good
Yeah.
cuts. He's got good lateral agility, I think, as well. And his receiving profile, I was really impressed with catching the
Mhm.
ball down the field a little bit too. And I think that's going to be a very big interest to NFL franchises. I think, like you said, he's going to be a serviceable backup. Again, there's when we talked about it earlier in in the podcast, talking about our overrated players, I had mentioned there's a lot of guys that have him really high, to the point where they think that maybe he could be a starter. And I'm just not sure I'm there. Again, same with DJ
Yeah.
Giddens. I'm concerned about his power, his pad level, and his physicality to really be anything more than I think like a third down option or a spot starter kind of reliever. But overall, like you said, really good skill sets, but just no elite trait where I think he's going to remain on the field for an NFL franchise,
Right.
to hitch their wagon to him in an NFL backfield. So let's go over his scouting report card grades.
Mhm.
Vision and patience, I gave him a solid B. There were times where I thought it was a little inconsistent, and there were times where I was impressed with his ability to navigate through the line of scrimmage and really find the skinny holes and get through them, especially for his size. So vision and patience, I gave him a solid B. I think he's definitely serviceable in that trait.
I gave him a B too. I think there's synergy between what he sees and how he moves, but it's not explosive and it's not elite, not near elite. So I gave him a B.
Yeah, sweet feet and lateral agility. I gave him a B plus. I think he's,
Mhm.
you mentioned those short strides. I think that does him well. That he's not a
Such a good
long
point.
strider because he can really, nimble his way, through dancing through the line of scrimmage or whatever. But like I said, he got through some skinny holes, had some good vision, and you need your feet and mind to be in sync when, to be a quality, NFL back. So I gave him a B plus. I think I was really impressed with his footwork and lateral agility and space as a space creator.
Yeah, I gave him a B. I mean, it was very impressive, especially for how he moved. I just wanted it to be a little bit more explosive. It's not a explosive lateral movement. It's
Mhm.
just more strategic. So I give him a B. I think it's solid.
All right, acceleration and long speed. I gave him a B as well. Again, enough acceleration to do damage 5, 6, 7 yards, through the line of scrimmage. He's not going to beat anyone long on a few of those plays. He did, get loose in the second level and was caught by defensive backs. But again, that's icing on the cake for a running back for me. You just have to have that initial burst and acceleration. The long speed is icing on the cake for me, but still, I think he's got enough to be a serviceable backup. So I gave him a solid B in that category.
Yeah, I give him a B minus. I think the long speed, he's going to get caught from behind. I think the acceleration might be a little bit limited based on, NFL defenders and how they're collapsing the pocket. I want to see what he can do in that area and how intelligent he is to move. So I give him a B minus on this one.
Strength and contact balance, I gave him a B minus. I guess this is where my concern again, I really value physicality, maybe
Mhm.
to a fault, but man, you gotta be tough and you gotta just be able to get in there and give licks and good college running back. I just watching him run did not see a full-time starter in the NFL. So I just gave him a B minus. So that's my one concern with him is his high pad level, kind of like Giddens that we talked about as well, and just a lot of times getting thrown back a little bit when I wanted to see a little bit more forward lean and power. Because that's at 5'11", 215, you're gonna have to win with the power, and I'm not sure he
Yeah.
packs a punch given his size. So I gave him a B minus.
Yeah, I gave him a B, but I think I'm gonna change that to a B minus as well. I'm sorry to get boring, but I think you're spot on with that one. That is definitely a concern translating to the next level.
Receiving ability, I'm giving him an A. All right, we're going to be generous here. This guy, I like his ability in the catching the ball out of the backfield, makes some good adjustments to the ball. Outside his frame, good hands catcher, and he gets upfield in a hurry. So I think he could be a third down back option in the NFL. That's where I see his role being if he's got that good size and the ability to catch the ball, 5, 10, 15 yards down the field and be some sort of weapon coming out of the backfield. I think that's going to be a feather in his cap come draft day.
I mean, in this portion, God, I give him a B plus. I get the A. Probably should have given the A, but I'm kind of glad it's B plus so I can be different. But this is definitely going to be an area that's going to be very valuable to him at the next level, and coaching staffs are absolutely going to want to use that skill set.
Yeah, stop copying my goddamn grades, would you? All right, enough.
Hey, I try to make it different on that one, man.
Get your own grades. All right, so the guy is going to be a day 3 selection, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I can't see a day two selection for Devin Neal. Probably rounds 4 and 5, kind of like Giddens. I think these guys are very, very similar. We just talked about Giddens, so that's why we keep
Yeah.
bringing him up again. So you think early day 3 guy, round 4 through 6, something like that?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. All right. And another comp that I like that came easy to me. Again, I don't know what's in the water. I got 2 comps that have come easy to me this week. Israel Abanaconda, when I watch this guy. I don't know. It's
Interesting.
just you go back and you watch Abanaconda from Pittsburgh. It was the same
Yeah.
thing. We were excited about him coming out. He was productive. He, had that lateral agility, and he just can't get on the field. But I think Devin Neal might be headed kind of in the same, kind of path in the NFL. We get excited about him. He's so productive in college, but then he gets to the NFL and just can't seem to get on the field, just like Abanaconda.
Yeah, I think Abandoned his ball carrier vision, like it was the long speed, I think that got everybody excited. I think he ran like in the 4.3s or something like that.
Mhm.
But I think the vision is definitely better with Neil, but I understand. I think you're right. Like it's just gonna be the same type of scenario, unfortunately. And when it comes to my comp, who do I got here? I have Damian Pierce. I mean, this was a guy coming out of Florida where,
Yeah.
we saw the lateral movement, the evasiveness, and the capped long speed, and he got a chance to be a starter year 1 with the Texans, but that never sustained that starting potential. So could Devin Neal fall on a team that needs a starter and be productive year 1 and not be able to outlast the next free agency and NFL draft process? That would make sense to me. Or could he be a guy that gets drafted behind a vet and is just going to be a role player and striving for a starting position? I think it's kind of, you could tell both stories. So, but I have Damian Pierce as my comp.
Yeah, I like it, man. I'll tell you, after the first year, Damian Pierce, everyone was thinking like, "Ooh, we got something here."
Yeah.
And then it all
And
came
Dawn.
crashing. It came
Yeah.
crashing down. So there you guys got it. There is our Devin Neal scouting report. If you're a big fan, well, you're just getting a different point of view tonight. So
Mhm.